When I think about bulletproofing my body, I think about working from the ground up, building a strong foundation, and then the sky is the limit. I'm Mikaela Shiffrin, and I am the current world record holder for the most FIS Alpine World Cup victories. I started strength training probably when I was around 10. I started learning just basic form and body weight movements, and then 12, I started to get into adding some low levels of weight, and that was all around training for ski racing. I work out 6 days a week, 4 to 8 hours per day. As I get older, I have to work with the way that my body grows. Over time, my back has become a little bit more of an issue for me, so I have to be a little bit more aware of that. I do a lot more single leg work than double leg work, and I'm always aware of hip mobility and function before I go into heavy strength work. After my injury this past season, I got injured in November, worked to return back to World Cup racing before the end of the season. Now that we're in the preparation period for next season, I feel like I can put a lot of focus on returning my strength and coordination back to like top level. When I think about bulletproofing my body, I think about working from the ground up, building a strong foundation, and then the sky is the limit. I always start my workout with a foam roller. Normally my back is pretty tight, so I'll always start working through my back segment by segment. Sometimes I'll add in like almost a kind of a crunch, and it's more for mobility than anything. It's to help mobilize my thoracic spine because that's where I tend to get particularly tight. Then my lower lumbar starts to take on a little bit more load than it needs, and then I get muscle strains and sometimes some disky tension. So try to keep my whole spine segment by segment as mobile and free as possible so I can take on load through the whole spine, not concentrated in one area. This is what life is about. So the next thing is a quadruped cat-cow with band assistance. This is really also good for back kind of mobility and to work through your core. It's a really good warm-up. It's the second thing I do for my warm-up to get into mobility and get moving for a good strength workout, also for endurance, really for anything. It just feels very good. The next thing I like to do, moving a little bit from mobility to actually mobility plus a little bit of core activation. It's this theory of training called DNS, dynamic neuromuscular stabilization. Quite a mouthful, but it's kind of this theory about like deep breathing and the way that you move your body. And I am not the expert on it, but my physical therapist has brought this into my program fairly regularly. So there's a couple that are really good for core activation. I might do this for warm up going into a training day. I'll do this getting off of a plane. It's sort of like a well-rounded way to get some mobility, some activation. These are little bits and pieces of like the foundational work that I do. I've always struggled with activating my lower core muscles. I always get I get a rib flare and I get really heavy on the upper core. And this has also been really important for my recovery and injury, trying to focus in on this lower section and how I'm able to breathe and making sure like obliques are fully activated, making sure everything's truly on and truly stabilizing my spine. So I'm gonna do a crossover lateral step up with weight. And this is really good for the kind of functional motor control hip stabilizer muscles. It's really good for glutes, it's really good for quad strength. But for me in particular, this has been very helpful in opening up my hips, which allows my back to feel much more strong and much more free with skiing, which is hugely important. This is something that I will do pretty much all the time. If my back's not feeling great, it's a good one, especially post-travel when your hips get really tight. It's perfect to try to like start light and work your way up in weight and really focus on trying to like sink into the hip. And now I'm going to do a hanging side oblique flexion work. So this was really important for me after my injury, after the stab wound in November, to get my core connection back and to work through the oblique muscle tearing. This has been an ongoing process to kind of work on my oblique strength again, which is hugely important in ski racing, but really the obliques are very important in life because they connect your rotational ability with your forward flexion, your side flexion. So this is a very good one for the core. I feel most powerful when I do pull-ups. I used to not be able to do a pull-up. So my goal in life was always to be able to do 5 to 10 pull-ups. The first time I did one was a really exciting moment. And I go through phases where I was like, oh, I feel really heavy right now and I can't seem to get myself to the bar. And then sometimes I'm just feeling super strong. My fit check at the gym is normally comfortable, good stable shoes. It's a particularly high intensity workout. I might strip off my shirt down to a sports bra. I'll do leggings or shorts. And I always have my gym bag, which the bag itself changes depending upon where I am and what bag I have access to. But I kind of keep the same things with me at all times. First of all, always my cap. This is one of my main sponsors. Barilla is my head sponsor, and it's always good to have something to protect your face from the sun. Water bottle, headphones. I have like a little kind of makeup like face kit. I have my little face oil in here. Super hydrating and makes me feel really fresh. So after workout, and it's like these small containers are great. So after a workout, I can go in, wash my face, put on the oil, feel moisturized. I live in Colorado, which is a very dry environment. So I really like face oils to kind of keep moisturized. A clip, just because those are fun. Oh, I have my tripod. So this is really helpful because one of the apps I use measures velocity and force output. And I use that to kind of test my strength throughout the summer on a more regular basis. So I need to have something that's like stable in order to film my squat from the side. And also it's good for selfies and content. So I just stick that on there and do my thing. Another hair tie just in case, wallet, and my sunglasses. They've got so much dust on them.